Hey guys, I'm here at the hotel after a very long and eventful day at the first day of Essen Spiel of 2023. It's been really exciting. It's been great to meet so many of you, to meet with so many devs and see so many cool games and just have a blast celebrating this industry. There is a lot to go over. There are a lot of videos, dedicated videos coming out soon from some talks and discussions I've had with some developers, some early looks at some things, and there's more tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that. I got a sit-down meeting with a few other devs to go over what's coming next, what they have right now, all that good stuff. So that will be coming soon. Additionally, I know Mythic Games announced a update for Darkest Dungeon Wave 2. I will be discussing that as well. That might, I don't know, it'll either be tomorrow or it'll be when I get back. It depends on how much time I have to dedicate on it, how much time I can put to it. These kind of events here, like the convention stuff, especially when you come here as someone like a content creator or even a developer, it's a lot of work as well as a lot of fun. And so I still have work to do. I'm going to be editing the video after this, and it's already late, but super pumped to get the word out, share some awesome experiences that I had with you guys. So I hope you enjoy the video, and I'll talk to you guys again tomorrow about either Essen Spiel or Mythic Games or who knows what. But either way, thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy it. Alright guys, sorry if I'm a little quiet. It's very late. It's around 2:30 a.m. in my hotel room, and I'm trying not to wake anybody up. But as you can see, I had quite a flight to get here. It's my first time outside of the country, outside of the US, and into Germany, and it's been a great experience. It's been really, really nice. There was a ton of stuff. We're going to go in order. So, like, first things first, a meetup at the CGS booth that they have there, showing off Dante and some Apocalypse stuff. And actually, I think it's just the regular Chronicles of Drunagor. I don't know if it's actually Apocalypse or not. I need to double check that. Either way, they have a booth up there, they have a display, and a lot of happy faces there, which is really good to see. Now, the first thing I do, of course, before the doors open, I'm let in early. I go straight to the Aeon Trespass Odyssey into the Unknown booth because I need my, early copy of the shirt and the Titan. I'll show that at the end of the video so you can see I actually got it. Was super stoked and ended up having a great conversation with them as well. They're really cool people and knowledgeable about it, and they're talking about what they're focusing on and using their employees in a really smart way, which I really appreciate, and just being responsible when it comes to development and putting it out. So they're really focused on the last two cycles of Aeon Trespass Odyssey and then Kingdoms Forlorn. They're trying to get those things done while they move on to other things. And so they're really trying to close things out and launch new things and just make sure the designers, the artists, everybody in between, everybody is kind of working on that. And it's no longer like a one-man show development team either. So they're developing a little bit quicker than they have before. They have been doing that since, I guess, Kingdoms Forlorn. So that's exciting. And there was a hint that there's more cooking underneath the hood that they will reveal when the time is right. So when the time is right, stay tuned for this channel because I will surely show it. As for this, I think it's a great expansion. It's essentially it lost the vote in the campaign. So it's a great kind of little promo mini you can do and still use the art assets and stuff that you worked on. As you can see, though, always a good table, just visual, just how it looks, the presentation, amazing. And so people, they walk by and they see and you're like, oh man, what the heck is that? It's awesome. I love this game. You guys know that. I'm a huge fan. It's one of the few times I think where I've been so pumped for a game and then actually felt that it actually exceeded my expectations, which I think says quite a lot. Definitely a ton of fun and just a blast to play, of course, too. All right, so this was actually, we had to go get some money at the ATM, and right at the very front, literally, you walk into the main gates in building 1 or hall 1 or whatever, and then this guy is greeting you. So guess where my money went? That's right, I ended up buying some Warhammer stuff because why not? Heck, it's cheaper over here anyway, so may as well get some what I claim to be good deals. You guys know I love this industry and spend way too much money in it, but it's what you do with something you love, right? And I get a lot of enjoyment out of it. I got the Chronicles of Drunagor booth. They set up some painted minis that look fantastic. I wish I painted this good. This is quality stuff. Look at the OSL and that dude's hammer. Freaking amazing. Or the guy in the back. It's a little glowing green. See some of the newer minis too. Looks freaking stellar. Great job. I wish I had my minis painted because that would have elevated it if they looked like that. If I had been able to paint like that, maybe that would have been pretty good. They also have a little setup of the Dante demo box. And one thing I wanted to point out here is you see the levels here and how it's kind of different. One of the interesting things they do with terrain is you can actually like manipulate terrain to where like it literally sinks into the ground and then rises up somewhere else. So this can actually break the normal rules around how high it can go, and it can technically keep raising as things are manipulated and your whole environment is changing. One thing I think was pretty cool, a lot of the 3D environment games that have that don't show it. Lunchtime happened, so of course I had to have whatever the heck this was. It was like this light, fluffy, I don't even know, like breading kind of thing, almost like a donut, but not like super sweet. Sour cream lathered all over it. This like, I think it's like casa cheese, I don't know, some cheese. I had salami on there, put some chili flakes. It was amazing. It was far too much. I couldn't finish it. That was a ton of food. Dear Lord, your guys' portions make my American soul sing with joy. It was amazing. It was really good. And after that, I walked in and found this guy here. And lo and behold, I was like, what is this even advertising? I've actually shown this before. Firefighters on duty. Look at that. It's amazing to me. I'm going to show this later on and just like how big and bombastic they can make even like more simple games. I mean, like this is not a heavy duty game. It's going to crowdfund and stuff like that, but it's just crazy. This was a new one. I thought this one was really cool. I'll link down to this below. It just looked really pretty, right? I love the art. This is all like AI. It's like a digital artist that wants to create a game via AI. And so this is what he's doing. It's wild and crazy. And I don't know. You let me know your thoughts on that. It's definitely different. It's like Neo Sparta or whatever. This was Shadowlands. It's also coming out really soon, I think in January. And again, that 3D terrain, very impressive. Essentially the land's like separated and all that. And you're kind of, you have a 2-person team and you're going through finding other 2-person teams and you're using victory points as like a currency, which is kind of cool. They had a whole bunch of other cool stuff too there. But this elevated design, I'm seeing so many 3D board games. Let me know your thoughts on 3D board games because they seem to be a craze. They're definitely becoming, I think, super popular. Definitely have the visual appeal, right? Woody Game Table by Woody Do. I guess it's a dumb name. It looks to be a very utilitarian game table. It looks, I don't necessarily say cheaper, but definitely more plain, right? Very, rectangular and kind of bare bones. So let me know your thoughts. Like, I don't know what they're really solving here. Here's Apex Legends looking pretty. I love games that come with terrain. You know that I'm a terrain sucker. I love it. And of course they have the really cool, acrylic, smoke and stuff like that and those fancy locks and whatnot. It definitely looks pretty on the table. And they didn't even have the dioramas on display. So I feel they've pretty much moved on from that. That used to be the only way you saw that. Now it's like, hey, look, it's a real game. You don't need to have these fancy diorama things that have fun. Imagine that. Some Celestial minis, you've seen all these in better detail. I showed all these off. There is another one though, a humongous one, like 3 times the size of any of these, easily, maybe more, maybe like 5x. It is seriously huge. It's later in the video. I'll show you, and I will fight somebody physically to get it. It looks amazing. So I'm already bugging them because I want to show it off to you guys. I might show it off when they're actually ready to launch Celestial for realsies this time. I don't know, but this was at Starry Games booth, and we were talking to them. They actually recognized me there, and we kind of had a conversation around that because they make so many different games. There's some steel molds here. I will show more later on and kind of explain that. But super cool that there's these actual, production companies that are showing off how these minis are made. We spend so much money on these games and we appreciate the physical nature of them. And most of us don't really understand what goes into making them, which I think is kind of weird. Maybe it's kind of like cars and phones and other things we have these days where you don't necessarily understand the thing you're spending all the money on, but I think it's fascinating. And as you can see, of course, Daenerys uses them as well. So Dragori Games uses them, and actually quite a few others. Look at the one in the bottom right there. That's a new thing they're doing. It's actually still resin, and they're also doing Hips plastic, which is interesting. It's a Limbo miniature in there that I'm not aware of, so that looks cool. Definitely some interesting stuff there. Also, Neomorphosis. It is a real thing. It's actually being made, and look, Story Games is making that as well. I'll show you on the back a few of the mini renders, but they even have some 3D tokens stuff like that. Sorry about the glare, by the way. Sometimes if they're close to the side, and so the sun is beaming in there, so it's a little bit brighter. But yeah, as you can see, 3D tokens and all that kind of stuff. So they have the whole expansion set there. There's from the back, you can see a little bit some of the renders and whatnot. So Neomorphosis, it's actually delivering. I'm super excited to play it, actually. It should be pretty good, so that's awesome. All right, this is interesting. I couldn't get an answer to this. They were super busy. That looks like a Kyros style, like board with the doors, but obviously different style. And there's even like spacemen there. There's a Kyros. So I don't know what the heck's going on down there, but they have like random people in there. So I don't know what's going on. Battletech. Battletech is huge. They had 2 massive booths with just amazing stuff. Look at that resin and the ocean waves. They're freaking amazing. What a great diorama that is. That is really, really good. And the fake shine on the canopy there looks really cool. Of course, you got Germany representing there. I mean, that's important, right? You got to have that for your Battletech. Just so many cool displays. I like the guys with like the skull helmets and stuff like that. Later on, you're going to see some that have like LEDs in them. A little helicopter. Mad respect for that. That is awesome and well painted too. I love the little guys. You're going to see some little guys here too. The scale is so funny with this game because they shrink them down so much. Yep. So here you go. You got LEDs. You got moving parts back there. You see that? Just completely ridiculous, over the top, and amazing. It's really cool to see. I think when it comes to like painting miniatures and doing stuff like that, there's no better way to kind of show respect to the detail work and the design work of what goes into so many of these games that we enjoy and love. That I think it's great. Whether you can really paint well or not doesn't even matter. Look at the little guys down there. That's amazing. Really cool stuff. So I think this is it for the Battletech stuff, but I was just so impressed to see it. It feels like it's come back. Does that make sense? Like there's just a lot of really good support for it these days, and it's amazing. It's making millions on the Kickstarter. What do you guys think about that? Do you think it's a nostalgia thing? Do you think it's just a price thing? Those missiles, amazing, looks great. I don't know what it is. There's those little guys again. I love them. They're so tiny. It's impressive. You can see, you can play it kind of like a Warhammer thing with measurement. You can play it on the hexes, all that kind of stuff. I didn't get a game of Deep Rock Galactic in yet, but I do plan on doing that in the coming days. I'll keep stopping by there. They had all the new stuff already on display. I think that's fantastic. Not always they do that. They'll just have a poster saying, back it on Kickstarter, but they got it all right here. There's also, you can see below there, Battle of the Gods or Battle of Gods. Looks super interesting. They have some fancy minis there, and really a low count of stuff you need otherwise. You can see you have, these little trays, you got some tokens, you got some cards, and what seemed to be that it. That's what seemed to be it. I don't know. That wasn't even English. This was an interesting game. It caught my eye. This is really just everything cool that I saw, and I haven't even looked at everything yet. And I haven't even looked at all the halls yet. There was no game on display, though. It was just these cards and minis. There was, I think, 2 ladies there that were talking, or there was a group talking, and I didn't quite get to ask that. Nanolith, I love the fact that they printed giant minis. I love the fact that they're there and getting support. Nanolith is a blast to play. I really enjoyed it. The story is great. The style of everything. They're talking about Final Fantasy summons. I about died. I'm like, yes, please. Thank you. I would like some more. So super pumped for that. If you're in the Eschenspiel, feel free to check out Nanolith. I highly recommend that. I love showing indies off, and I love it when they can succeed and have a presence and a following in a place like this. So really cool to see. And the minis big like that look freaking awesome. I'm just saying, that's really cool. They don't want those later on. The comic style storytelling, I actually really like. I think it does good. And you can see the acrylic standees there as well. That work really well for how many enemies and stuff that you're doing. But yeah, they were talking about this big, not a monster per se, but this big enemy that kind of becomes an ally, and you can like call them in and summon them, but it takes a lot of resources. But when they do, it's super impactful. And so you essentially have this like Final Fantasy style summon that just comes and wrecks crap, and you're like, yes, that's awesome, which I love. I think that's great. And I miss when Final Fantasy used to be impactful like that. They have a lot of little nerd stuff too. I'll show a few things now and then. The miniature builder in me, the assembly person, I really like doing fine things with my fingers. I don't know why. That's why I like the miniature building, the assembly, almost as much as the painting. So when I see this kind of stuff, I'm like, oh, that'd be fun to build. Just like these little cars and clocks and stuff like that. I know that's super nerdy. I apologize if that's not your thing. You'll just have to bear with me for a minute. I think it's awesome. I love this kind of stuff. Whether it's metal or wood or plastic or anything, I love doing it. It's something about taking these little things and making it into something big that I really appreciate. And obviously, nerds love it too. That's why it's here, right? I mean, that's why we're all here. Okay, back at the Dante booth, I went and met a few of you guys here, and it was awesome. In fact, some patrons might have a cameo appearance in this, but I really liked the fact that they finally got, they got these in late, but they got the sun dropped and painted like Apocalypse minis and stuff like that. So it was really cool to see. The question was asked, are these the actual size that they are? Yes, it is that big. It is huge. Oathsworn. Guys, of course I had to talk to Jamie over there on Oathsworn with Shadowborne Games. I had to talk about what was coming up, but they had painted minis that looked gorgeous. This game, the scale of it is already so big. It already has such table presence that painting it up, glorious, amazing. So as you know, this is coming on 2024. Now, I wasn't able to film the interview I planned that day because my battery had died on my camera, hence the handy cam thing here. Tomorrow, which is when you're seeing this now, I will film an interview with them. You'll get to know what I know about this, but it's going to be awesome, guys. It's huge. I know some of you are going to freak out because I want to say circular board, but there's a fog of war mechanic, and Mordred looks amazing. That's actually him on the right. Notice he's like slashed and cut and ethereal, and like Avalon is like this like mystical place that you can go to. It sounds awesome. There's a bunch of cool stuff that you know, all these different factions are going for different reasons to do stuff, and it's very much Arthurian, but like in a super high fantasy sort of way that I am digging. It's amazing. So you're going to see a little video here shortly, and I'll link down to this below as well, so you can feel free to check it out. And of course, stay tuned for more information. I'm going to get some really good inside scoop here, but you see some of the minis here. Notice there's Mordred on the right, and there's that lady on the left. And notice the different colors, the blue, transparent, and the gold there. They're going to be doing two-tone plastic, which is going to be super cool. I suspect they're going to have to do hips for that, but they're not. They're still exploring, seeing what they're doing there. But they'll have that like technical plastic as well. Some more painted minis. Wanted to end on that. That looks super awesome. Of course, again, look at that. Oh my gosh, it makes my brood mother look like garbage. Fantastic stuff. Well done. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So that's really cool. Again, I'll have more information on the Avalon game here soon, and it's going to be freaking amazing. I'm excited for it. Okay, over here at eStar, they're showing off some more steel molds. Now, I wanted to point out that, first of all, these are very heavy. Like I would say maybe 25, 30 pounds. Like, they are solid steel. You can make them out of different metals. This is not a full steel plate. Like, when they talk about a steel mold costing thousands of dollars, they'll have several of these that make a one, essentially, and they'll run plastic from one to another. So each mini will kind of be in one like that, but then they'll often link multiple together. But as you can see, very fine detailed work. It's an art of its own to be able to sculpt that and negative it, and make sure that the plastic can be injected into and all that. Again, very cool to see how our miniatures are made, and it looks like a huge waste, right? There's all this steel around this little tiny mini, but I mean, that's just the nature of the thing, especially when it comes to heat dissipation, stuff like that. This is probably the biggest example I've ever seen, and I think it helps that it's a little bit thinner, and as you can see, it even pops out the back there. Amazing. Awaken Realms was there, and they had, when seeing them painted, I might change my mind on these minis. These look fantastic. This is obviously Dragon Eclipse here. Looks great, doesn't it? Amazing. They had Stalker here too. Again, set up really well. I think the anomalies, I can't even say that right, look fantastic. They look really cool. I love the whitish blue. I don't know why that guy's staring in a corner. I don't know what he's doing, a little doofus, but very cool to see the terrain up there as well. Divinity Original Sin was actually showing. It's amazing to see it as kind of a real thing. It just is part 1 here. I think that's hilarious. It's been so long coming. I don't know if you guys are even so excited about this or not. It's pretty much a totally different game, of course. But it was just great to see it actually there. I was really happy to, because I know a lot of people backed it and have been waiting for it. And so I hope you're excited for it. It was made by a manufacturer I didn't recognize, and the bases are really thin. So it's very different from other games that you might be used to, but it looks pretty good quality. It looks nice. Of course, we had Top Games there, and they had Primal here. I will be unboxing the final versions of these. They came to my house like the day before I left, so I'll do that. I love seeing like the red wax and the different resins and stuff there. That's really cool. Obviously, they also made, Death May Die and Massive Darkness, and they actually do quite a bit there. They did some great work on a lot of the Deep Madness stuff as well. I think they did some of that, so that looks great. A wide variety of stuff. And then the Celestial Mini here. Again, I will physically fight somebody for this. please, if you have this and you can get it for me, I will fight you. Like, let's get this in my hands. This looks amazing. I would love to show this off. Really good detail for you guys. This is actually at the Geek and Son section. They have these €100 really fancy, comes out of a dragon mouth dice towers, which looks super cool, of course. And they had a whole bunch of other stuff on display at all their tables. They looked amazing. They really did. Okay, this is going to be a dedicated video in the future. Okay, so I'll look into this a lot more. I'll ask some questions. Obviously, this looks fancy. I've shown this off before. If you might recall, I don't believe it's successfully funded. They have this tray with all the lights. It looks really cool. It's launching not on Kickstarter, not on GameFound, none of that at all. They are actually going to be launching this on a brand new thing, and it's actually right here. So it is called fanfare.app. A whole new one, of course. Daka Daka. I don't know if that's on there or not. I don't know. Well, I'll take a look into it, guys. Okay, I got so much time to do, but that will be coming up. This was kind of cool because you'll see these big displays for these really small games. This is a game that it's just a card game where you're kind of going through like historical things, stuff like that, and they have these giant like Anubis statues and stuff like that. I love it. It's so over the top. It's so ridiculous. And it's just cool. It's awesome. I love it. I think it's amazing that they're doing that. All right, Axon Protocol. They've been showing off for I think like 3 years now at these conventions. Look how good they've gotten this. This is like so cyberpunk. It's crazy. Neon lighted like mat that they have all the stuff on just to make it look exactly like I think what they're going for. You have like the like lips tokens and stuff like that. The acrylic standees have all the information there. It is such a well-executed theme on this game, I feel. I have no idea exactly how it plays when it comes to like all the different pieces and stuff like that at this point. Like it looks wild, but I think they're doing a great job here. Now I have a bone to pick with this. Again, this is some of that nerd stuff there. Like I said, you see this all the time. Now this is just like on display, right? You can see the board games behind it. They're doing like the Jigsaw game, stuff like that. Okay, looks cool. I'm all for it. I like I've only seen, I think, the first 3 Saw movies. I need to catch up on some others, but right here, they have Rio here, and then on the end here, they have Ken, but they label him Rio, and it really or Ryu. Sorry, Ryu. I can't even say the name right, but it bothers me that they did that. Okay, so this is Restart. It's coming out here soon. It is a Euro game with 6 different modules. This is by Teetotum Games, and they're like late on the Age of Rome stuff, so they had like a little free game with 3 dice you could play. I think it's cool. They're obviously game guys that just want to make games, which is why they're doing stuff like that. It's like an apology for being late and stuff, which is kind of cool. This Restart thing is like dystopian future. There's like no water, and you have to do this different game to do that. And then the next module can be, there's like no population growth, fix that, stuff like that. So you can scan that here. Of course, I'll link to it down in the description below as well for you guys. But super cool to see. I like the module system. It's like 6 different games in one. It was kind of cool. More nerd stuff. I love Dragon Ball Z and anime and stuff. So of course I went here to take a look at all this because I think it's great. I could name most of these characters, I feel, which I don't know what this says about me, but yeah, just caught my eye. I want to show you all the cool stuff there. In my opinion, this is cool stuff. So you even got like the Skyrim dude back there. Senjutsu. It's a real game. You guys can actually get it eventually. My understanding is they're fairly close to delivering it in most of the places. There's a few issues with some low stock and all that. It's been a mess. It's been a disaster. I know. It's been so long. And even now it's like, okay, it's kind of getting close to here. It's stuck in customs here. We shortchanged here, so 190 people aren't getting this. It's a mess. But hopefully you guys get your game. Hopefully you love it. It definitely looks pretty. That is for sure. And it's good to see it finally be a real thing. So we can move on from that. Also, favorite part was just meeting you guys and just meeting so many of you, and I hope to continue to do that. I love it, and you guys know the direct route to my heart is food, so I am excited to try all of this. I've had a blast, guys. It's been so great. As you can see, I did buy the Kingdoms Forlorn stuff. It cost me a pretty penny because that's a resin miniature and all that, but it's cool. I like it. It's a very cool Titan as well. Like, if you actually go and read its stuff, it can do some cool stuff. So I will be, again, going tomorrow. I have a few more meetings with Go On Board, with Shadowborne Games, with a few others. So we'll be doing that. Obviously, I'll be exploring more. I'll be sharing more with you guys. Again, Mythic Games, they had their thing as well. So, of course, I'll be looking into that, discussing that. But I'm really busy here as well. I'm doing what I can. Like I said, it's really late. I apologize for that. But hopefully you've enjoyed this insight into Essenspiel. And as you can see, there's a ton of amazing stuff, a ton of great devs making awesome games that I'm super excited to share with you. So stay tuned for more. I'll definitely be having more, and I'll be doing some deep dives on some of the things I told you about. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye, guys.